Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome back to the garden. Today I'm going to be showing you a few things that I'm doing to help fill and prepare my raised beds for the upcoming growing season. Raised beds can be very expensive to fill if you go and buy soil for them, so I've been doing a few things to improve my soil and to actually sort of compost and break down other materials to fill my beds for free. So when collecting free resources, you can't always be as picky as you would like with the source of those free materials. So, I've been collecting food scraps, for example, from a cafe and using those in my compost. So I'm very happy with how that's going. I'll show you that. But I've also been collecting leaves and small branches and things from within the community, and also some horse manure as well. So, like with the leaves, for example, I don't really know, if this might have been sprayed with pesticides or with herbicides, but I've been allowing them to break down. I'm hoping that that isn't the case. But I just wanted to point out, that while this is a great free way, it can sometimes be difficult to control what's going into your garden. So I generally garden organically. I try not to spray any chemicals or anything like that on my garden at all. But sometimes you have to maybe be a little bit lenient when collecting free resources. And also with the horse manure, there's also a risk that potentially the horse manure may be contaminated with some herbicides for, so straw, it's a monocot, and, potentially when it was grown, it might have been sprayed with a herbicide which would kill dicots. So this is sort of different plant categories. I'm absolutely not an expert in this, but I just wanted to be really upfront and say, while this is what I'm doing, you need to be aware yourself of the source and different things that you're doing in your garden, because there may be potential risks of contaminating your soil with those pesticides or herbicides. Okay, with that in mind, let's go have a look and see what I've been doing. So my favourite soil amendment is compost. So here we have this clay composting unit that I've been using, and inside of here we have, so this one I've just been filling up. So this has got new materials. This one's partially broken down, and this one is almost fully finished, and then you can actually store the finished compost in the bottom. In this pot here we can see the partially broken down compost. There's still big chunks of things that need to keep on breaking down, so this will take several more weeks to continue to break down, but it's well on its way. And here in this bottom pot we have the finished and aging compost. So it looks very much like dark, rich soil. You can see that in mine that there's still eggshells. The eggshells can take a couple of years to break down, but besides that, this is already completed. So I'm just going to leave this to age for a little bit longer, and then this can be used on the plants. And this is just, it's full of organic material, which is a great way to keep moist in the soil, but it's just going to be full of nutrients for those plants to take up. Because I don't have many plants at the moment while I'm preparing the soil, I've also been using just some really big black pots as a way to up my compost. So I've just been filling these with all of the food scraps and coffee grinds and things that I've been getting from cafe. But you can see this one on this side is absolutely not broken down, so this needs to keep on going. I need to add some more leaves there, so some more carbon to keep this a mix between carbon and nitrogen. But that one's definitely not broken down. And if we come across to this one over here, you can see that this is definitely started to break down further. It's not finished at all, but you can see this is starting to look a bit like soil. So I've just been using this in the garden as a way to grow, or to build even more soil. So while I've been upping my composting efforts, I definitely haven't got enough to fill these big raised beds that I have across the garden. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, so please forgive me. stuff everywhere, but definitely not enough to fill these raised beds. So what I've done as another way to help fill them with organic material is I've collected up leaves and clippings from the community, and I've done a bit of a lasagna style gardening. So when we moved into the house, I kept the boxes, the cardboard boxes. They had no printing on them, and also like the wrapping paper from that. And I've been doing a layer of cardboard and then topping with leaves, another layer of cardboard topping with leaves, and that's been breaking down for over 4 months now. And so actually, if I just dig this a little bit, you might be able to see that it's no longer just leaves. It's really started to break down into some soil. So it's still got a long way to go, but I'm really happy with this because it means there's going to be a really thick layer of organic material below the soil. So I'm going to purchase some soil and top this off with the soil, but I know that underneath that it's not going to be sand or something else that's not going to give the plant roots nutrients. It's going to be this rich organic material that will continue to break down in time to come. In this section of the raised bed, I obviously got some grass clippings, and there must have been some plants in here that have gone to seed, so you can see that there's weeds popping up all through here. So what I'll do to suppress these weeds is to just cover it with another layer of cardboard like this, and then I will put the soil that I'm purchasing on top of here, and the cardboard will help to suppress those weeds so that they don't continue to grow in this section of the garden. So I've already laid cardboard underneath as well, but as this continues to break down, it will just provide more carbon into the soil. So at the back of my yard, I have this standalone raised bed which isn't connected to the other ones. The other ones are sort of all joined together, but this one is separate. And so what I've decided to do, because I'm really just feeling not confident that the horse manure may not be contaminated, I've decided I'm going to just spread it in this bed alone. So if it is contaminated, it's only going to affect this section. Now, I've been doing some reading. It says that these herbicides can potentially take 30 days up to 3 or 4 years to break down. So I've had this horse manure in these bags here, and I've had it for several months already, about 4 months, and this has been just aging in these bags here. Now ideally what you would do is have like a large compost and do hot composting, 1 meter by 1 meter square, but I don't have that space here, so I've just been allowing it to age. But now what I'm going to do as we start to get a little bit closer to the growing season is I'm going to spread out this horse manure across just this bed, allow it to be exposed to the sunlight, and to further break down before I top this bed off with the soil as well, and begin to grow. So I feel like, hopefully it's not contaminated, or if it was, potentially it's started to break down already, so it won't impact the growth of my plants. And from there, if it is contaminated, maybe I can just grow some monocots in this section until next year, and then hopefully it will have broken down by then. But fingers crossed. I'll keep you posted on what grows here and what doesn't. You could definitely do like a test section of your soil, test, and try and grow something in this if you wanted to try it. Beans, I've read, are a great example of what you could try and grow to see if it may be contaminated, because beans sprout so quickly, so you'd get a good indication, if this has been sprayed. So anyway, wish me luck. I'll keep you guys posted, and I'm sure you'll see as the gardening season develops if my plants thrive in this from all of the nutrients from the horse manure, or potentially suffer due to spray that's on the straw that's in this as well. So guys, I've spread out my horse manure across this back bed, and I'm just really happy actually that I've been able to fill these beds. This is about 12 inches deep, with completely free materials. So of the firm belief that gardening is something that should be available to everyone. Everyone should be able to, grow some of their own food, and I love that this was free. So you can see this horse manure, it's begun to age, it's drying out, and it's beginning to break down already from just aging in those bags. But I'm going to give this a good water in now, and this will continue to break down and age, this manure, before I begin planting. So it's really important to note that if you're using any manures on your garden, that you should definitely let them age before using them, because if it's still hot, if it's still decomposing, it can burn the roots of your plants. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. I'd love to hear from you with regards to any free or low cost options that you've used to fill your raised bed gardens or to make compost. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy gardening. Thanks so much for your support. If you haven't already, please do subscribe.